very, very rare. He's one of 10?
He's one of 10. Ryan actually was the first case that was diagnosed. The condition was diagnosed by his team of doctors at Children's Hospital and at Dana-Farber. So for a long period of time, there was not a diagnosis. So Ryan just had this condition with all of these symptoms, and they really didn't know what to do with it. And so it wasn't until they started to network with doctors around the world that they were able to find other cases that seemed extremely similar, that had a lot of comparisons. Some of the, when they would do labs, certain labs will look, or biopsies will look the same. So that's when they came up with this treatment. So now Ryan somewhat, his treatment is now the protocol for his condition.
How old is Ryan?
Ryan is 6 years old.
6 years old.
Yeah.
How is he doing with all this?
Ryan's doing phenomenally. He's really doing fantastic right now. He's been through a lot. Ryan has always been kind of, he was in the hospital right from the get-go. So for him, being in the hospital isn't any different than, going to school or really being at home. So as a parent, I think it's been, he makes it easy for me in a sense that I think it's much more difficult for a parent who deals with the diagnosis of a condition when the child is a little bit older, because, you deal with, that the child even accepting that they have this condition. And this is just Ryan. I mean, Ryan has, Ryan's got CAT syndrome is the acronym for his condition, and he has it, and we just deal with it, and it's not going anywhere, and it's kind of always sitting there on your shoulder, and sometimes we have issues that we have to deal with, but sometimes we don't. Knock on wood. Right now it's quiet.
Well, that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. It is a good thing.
We're going to send all our best out to Ryan and you as well, because I know the family goes through a lot of tough situations, and this is a tough one, no doubt about it. This is obviously a very compelling story as a mother of a child with this chronic condition, and as you are part of your agency trying to make people aware of this in this week known as Chronic Disease Awareness Week in New Hampshire, it's so important to make people aware of this and what we can do. What would you say to people out there with families, with kids and things like that? What are we trying to encourage people to do this week, to sort of find out more information, be more educated? What about?
Well, I think what we're trying to do is really that for families who have a child with a chronic health condition, if they are having issues within their community, with their physicians, with their insurance, that they need to communicate that and let us know and let our legislators know, these are issues that we're having, so that we can work to help to improve their lives. I mean, families should not be out there alone dealing with this. And New Hampshire is really a state that will respond to the needs of families, but we need to find out what is going on and what the issues are. Currently, the Department of Education just made an amendment to one of their rules which allows for medication in schools to be administered by someone else besides the nurse, which was a huge obstacle for many families here in New Hampshire who have children with any type of medical condition, not just a chronic health condition, who required medication. And there was just one person, the school nurse, that was able to administer this medication. And in some cases, it was a life-saving medication. So just envision, here you are, a parent, and you go to drop off your child, knowing that there's only one person in that school that is going to know what to do if your child goes into some type of crisis state. So the Department of Education, we worked with them for, did a lot of studying and figuring out what could be done, and they were extremely responsive, and we it just went through about 2 weeks ago that they did finally accept and amend this rule to allow for this administration of medications to be done by non-medical people. So it's something like that. Another issue that families talk about is we have a lot of families who have children with diabetes, and their kids are missing a large portion of the day because they we have to leave the classroom to travel to the nurse's office to have their blood sugar levels tested instead of just doing it quietly in the back of the classroom. So those are the issues that families need to communicate to us about. But really, it's just, as a state, we need to become healthier. Chronic disease prevention is about investing in the future. So sometimes, it's investing in exercise and proper diet and nutrition now, because that will prevent you from developing those chronic diseases later on in life.
Right. That's a very good point, and we've had a lot of people from the health profession and the medical profession talk a lot about that. For some reason, though, we don't seem to sort of grasp that idea that if we do work on ourselves now, that we'll be, living more productive lives later in life as we get older and, later in life, so to speak. And especially for kids, as you say. I mean, the obesity thing, that's a serious problem. We never really had that problem. At least we didn't talk about that problem. But with the advent of computer games and internet and everything else, you're right. Kids don't play outside like they used to play outside.
Well, and it's not only, it's becoming an epidemic, really, here in New Hampshire. The obesity issue definitely is. And so, and then these kids are developing, they have high blood pressure issues, the high cholesterol. I mean, there's so many things that, a lot of times when you develop that, those poor choices, those poor health choices and poor nutrition and lifestyle, it kind of snowballs. And that's what unfortunately is happening for many of these kids. And to stop that, and for as parents and as grandparents that we model, the right behavior so that our kids can become healthier.
We're speaking